What's a historically inaccurate movie that gets a pass because of how good it is? Amadeus. Most of the dinosaurs you see in Jurassic Park are actually from the Cretaceous period. Anastasia. Can you imagine getting murdered, then a movie gets made implying the woman who claimed your identity was the real deal and had to fight a freaky wizard's curse, and there were two knockoff movies made in the same year? Songs were boppin' though. Gladiator. History of the World Part I. Tombstone. But I really do love it. The Life of Brian. Kingdom of Heaven. Marie Antoinette, 2006. The movie isn't even that great, but you watch for the vibes: ribbon, shortcake, clinking glasses. A Knight's Tale. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Slayer. The 1970 production Tora pulled off one of the great cons of modern cinematography. It convinced an entire generation of Americans that after the sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, the Japanese Admiral Yamamoto had said, "I fear that all we have done is awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." There is no evidence that the quote was ever spoken by Yamamoto, but it was so perfect and convincing that subsequent Hollywood movies released in 2001, Pearl Harbor, and 2019, Midway, unquestioningly passed it off as legitimate. The Greatest Showman makes P.T. Barnum look like a better person than he was in real life. Gangs of New York. Historically accurate setting, costumes, and some characters/gangs, but the plot and the events supporting it are largely fictional. Damn good movie though. Disney's Pocahontas, Balto. Catch Me If You Can. Apocalypto. Great flick, but they blended a shitload of Mayan and Aztec culture together, and completely shifted timelines. Lawrence of Arabia. The Imitation Game. This one fits the bill because it's supposed to be more historically accurate than most, and there are absolutely lots of accurate things in the film. But tons of it is completely incorrect and really makes some dudes look way worse than they were. Still like it though. Star Wars. It happened a long time ago, so some of the details got blurred. 300. Braveheart. The Alamo. Apparently, The Blind Side, although we'll hear more when the case goes to trial. Remember the Titans. Inglourious Bastards. Not historically, but even with all of its mythological inaccuracies, Hercules is amazing. The Patriot. The Last Samurai. Probably Elizabeth, 1998, about Queen Elizabeth I with Cate Blanchett. I just love it. The acting, the writing, the score. Chef's Kiss. Goodfellas. Probably in my top 3 to 5 all-time favorite movies. Michael Franzese breaks it down on his YouTube channel. If you're into that life, his channel is really entertaining. Anyway, he goes into detail about how Henry Hill was not quite what the movie made him out to be. Back to the Future 2. We don't have flying cars, I'm a little salty about it. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Titanic. Their depictions of the lifeboat evacuation was inaccurate, and in real life third-class passengers weren't deliberately locked below decks to await their watery fate, either. That never happened. Alexander. The King's Speech. Death of Stalin. Starship Troopers. Elizabeth. Troy. I give a pass to every fucking movie that's not pretending to be historically accurate. They're movies, for entertainment. Animal House. D-Day, Bruce McGill. War's over, man. Wormer dropped the big one. Bluto, what? Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no. Ernest goes to camp. The Mummy. Back to the Future Part 2, Marty plays a Gibson ES-345 in the year 1955. Guitar wasn't released until '58. Back to the Future. I'm pretty sure that they didn't have time machines in the 80s. In fact, I'm told by my elders that the one movie that's most faithful to the 80s is in fact Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bohemian Rhapsody. It won an Oscar. After I watched it, I did some internet research, and basically the whole thing is made up, and things that aren't made up occurred out of order time-wise. Thus, any movie based on a true story is 90% fictional. Mulan, 1998, nothing about it was accurate, but the music and mushu is why I watch it. I'd say Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but it's actually one of the most historically accurate depictions of medieval culture and folklore in film. For example, medieval Europeans did have horror stories of killer/monster rabbits that were quite common. Terry Jones, who wrote the movie, was a medievalist, so most of the jokes are spot on contextually.